Not Be Reckless, aka Wanna Be Cast, and one of the HCS commentators, analysts, and grassroots content creators. And we have another HCS report. We're going to be recapping some of the things that went down last week, probably focusing mostly on the scrims because there's some exciting stuff going down. But I do want to recap a little bit of what's happened over the last couple of days. So we'll fast forward, or right into, I guess, rewind, I should say, excuse me, right into yesterday, where it is official. Space Station Gaming have picked up Falcated and Suppressed. So now that full roster is Eco, Stellar, Falcated, Suppressed that are going into the rest of the 2025 season. Not like this was a big secret whatsoever. I'm pretty sure everybody kind of knew this was going down. The drama was very public between ultimately their old SSG teammates in Lucent and Snakebite, and then also in Eco and Stellar, and it was very obvious they were going at the Falcon and Suppressed. I mean, they talked about the fact that they wanted to play back to their old style of play, really fast, get in there, apply pressure, and put in that work. And that's exactly what SSG expect to do. And so we welcome Falcated and Suppressed into one of my favorite orgs in the freaking industry. But on top of that, we also welcome an amazing rivalry between this new SSG and this new FaZe roster. That's everything that you want. Two teams that are tightly contested, two teams that are also contending for an actual tournament win that have legitimate chances of winning, and then maybe a little bit of bad blood as well that makes you want to watch it just a little bit more. These two teams did go at it during the HCS Open Series, where it went to a Game 5, 50-49, where the new phases, or I guess old phases, used to be on phase, Snakebite was able to 5-shot Stellar over towards the Mauler pit. Now, I will say SSG are official, phase aren't, but come on now. We know what's going down already. Welcome Space Station Gaming, welcome expectations, and welcome a new rivalry in the HCS. While we fast forward or switch gears over towards Tyler, aka Spartan, that motherfucking dog, just 2 days ago, tweeting out the contract sign. So even though he was dropped or let go for that complexity roster, it seems like he quickly has found a new home. Now we're going to talk about his squad and who he's been playing with recently, who we're going to assume is their ultimate team. And I'm going to assume maybe it's going to be that Omit roster that ends up picking them up. You know, Omit are still trying to find their new team. Maybe not anymore. Maybe they picked up Spartan the dog and the new crew that he's been playing with, which we'll talk a little bit here in the scrim department. So why don't we go back to, again, 3-2 phase over SSG that happened last weekend during the HCS Open Series. After that, we saw the two teams from Latin America have their go at each other, both in the winners bracket finals and the grand finals, where Ether Gaming were able to take both. This seems to be important because Ether Gaming, mind you, weren't able to make it out of open bracket back in Dallas, which was really surprising because they're not only one of the favorites making out of Mexico, they're one of the favorites to make out of open bracket. Some may argue should have already had a spot in pool play right off the rip. Well, Ether Gaming wasn't able to make it out, but they were able to 6-0 Alpha Luminon, who did make it out of open bracket literally at Dallas. Shopify Rebellion then go on to 12-0 Ether Gaming. Shopify Rebellion, arguably top 2 in the world right now, at one point looked like the #1 team. 12-0 is what you want to see. They're trying to get back on track. Alpha Luminon 6-4 over Dead Inside. Shopify Rebellion then at 9-2 Envy. No real surprise there, but I do want to take a look at who were the leading statters for this. I mean, I think Envy are really, really, really good, and better than people think, and definitely one of the dark horse teams to really make some noise on LAN, which they've already done, including upsetting some of the best teams in the world. But Shopify Blend again are top 2, and I think there's a bit of a level difference there. Envy take away 2. Frosty leading the Slays barely. Last shot leading in Slays and assist, and also damage as well. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Precision still stacking up those kills, but the damage fairly equal. Daxon actually having a slight advantage in the damage department as well. Take a quick peek at the objective stats. Again, last shot does it in the kills, does it in the assist, does it in the objective as well. The man's holding the ball the entire time there. Or steals. Actually, World 2, a lot of steals in the flag game. Okay, I see you, World 2. All right, all right. Doing the standoffs. Not many standoffs in the flag. No King of the Hill stats. Wish they would fix that. And fairly even distribution between the 3 members that aren't World 2 in the Hill. And kind of heavily in favor of picking Yaks. Okay, I just wanted to kind of keep my eye out on that. Meanwhile, FaZe also able to 14-0 Ether Gaming. Huge for them. This new FaZe roster, which again, I don't believe is actually official just yet, so I apologize, but everybody's calling them FaZe. Lucid, Penguin, Snakebite, and Trippy, in case you didn't know. Also able to pull off the 14-0 against Ether Gaming. Ether Gaming are very good, but the top 2, top 4 in the world, they're kind of a league above. And even though everybody's beatable, I'm not surprised. Shopify Rebellion, 13-5 over Complexity. The new Complexity roster has been surprisingly amazing. This new YNOT led squad of YNOT, Mental, King, Nick, and Cherished are the real deal. And even taking 5 games out of 18 off of Shopify Rebellion is pretty decent, especially when Shopify Rebellion are quickly trying to move into like championship form. I think this actually is really good for Complexity, but it gets even better for Complexity later on. FaZe with the 8-4 over Envy. Again, what you want to see, Envy very competitive and one of the teams to maybe upset somebody in the top 4, and that includes FaZe. Taking 4 of 12 is not that bad on Envy. And yes, I did that math in my head very quickly. No, I was not confident I was right on that. Envy over Redemption is this, I believe this is that new potentially omit roster. Spartan tweeting out that he signed that contract already, reuniting with Lethal from Sentinels. Never thought those two would get back together, but here we are. But also reuniting with his former Complexity teammates. He was a big believer in both Breaking Shot and Huss, so brings them back on this Redemption potentially omit, and brings Lethal with them as opposed to Precision. And now we pretty much have 3/4 of that Complexity roster plus Lethal, able to take a game out of 6 over Envy. And finally, Ascending Baseline over 10Y. Ascending Baseline have just been, you got to pay attention to them. I mean, the Uzi and Zuzi twins, fantastic. But then you add Suspector, a former professional player on Exit, United, Cloud9, many teams under his belt. He comes in, signed under Ascending Baseline as a content creator, but also competing on their top amateur roster. And then bring on Super CC of H, who also has professional experience and a ton of that. You have a good mix of youth, of chemistry, of experience, and this Ascending Baseline has to now be put in the conversation where they might be able to make it out of open bracket with this crew. Suspector has been having fun in the free-for-alls, but you may not have time to play in the free-for-all if you make it into pool play. Ascending Baseline 9-7 over, again, another experience, been there, done that roster in 10Y, Envor, Ezzo, Common, Haynes, again, all players with experience now in the professional scene, making it into pool play. Ezzo might be a bit of the newcomer, but he's now been out of pool play a couple of times now. Haynes has been there with Common. Remember Proton Gaming, remember Oxygen Esports. He's been around the block and with Common many of times. Weird to see Envor and Super CC on 2 different teams, and mind you, Super CC also teamed with Comet and Haynes as well. But Ascending Baseline able to take 2 over 10Y, and eventually Cloud9 and Ether Gaming go at it. Now, Ether Gaming may have been stomped by both Shopify Rebellion and FaZe, but I will say they put up a damn good fight against Cloud9. I was huge on this Cloud9 roster early in 2025. I was big on them in Arlington on the main stage. And eventually, they took SSG to a game 5. They've made it to a top 4 in one of the open series. Like, they really were that dark horse team. It feels like what Envy are now is what Cloud9 should be at this point, but Envy is kind of taken over that spot. Ether Gaming come in and go toe-to-toe with them, and that's very good for E3 Gaming. Cloud9 still rocking with this trio of Boo Boo Doo Boo Septify, but bringing on Advocacy fairly recently. Want to see big things on this Cloud9 roster. And finally, what really caught my eye was the new Complexity roster 7-3 over the new SSG. The new SSG just announced yesterday at 3 p.m. the official roster, and Complexity welcoming them into the league right afterwards with a huge win. Complexity seemingly out of nowhere, but man, does it feel good to say a Rhino squad is absolutely killing it. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Space Station Gaming, who we have very high hopes of. I mean, we're talking about top 4 in the league and them being like deadlocked with the new phase, so maybe even tied for 3rd place and ready to go toe-to-toe with Shopify Rebellion, ready to go toe-to-toe with Optic Gaming as well. Complexity. We're slowing them down just a bit, slowing their roll just a bit. This is a huge win for Complexity. Complexity were fantastic in the first open series that they ultimately played together in. I thought in Scrims so far they looked good, and then yesterday looked even better. Congratulations. Maybe we'll do a film review of one of these Complexity matches tomorrow and kind of break down what made them so freaking good. Got my eyes set on this Recharge game. I want to watch that Recharge Stronghold game. That could be really fun. But yeah, congratulations, Complexity. And again, welcome to the league, new SSG roster. And that's going to be your HCS report, your HCS recap. If you like this type of content, make sure, and you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good stuff. If you're watching live on the TikTok or the Twitch, hey, yo, what's up? I appreciate y'all. We're about to jump into some ranked right after this. And until next time, peace out, y'all.